I was like, that's supposed to be us. Good vibe there from the Order Boys. They're very comfortable. Arguably too comfortable.
Aren't they a chirpy bunch?
They are.
They actually think they own the studio. Like, they're my team, so block your ears, boys, because I'm normally very nice to them. But they've got a lot of confidence.
There's a lot of swagger when they walk in here.
Swagger, that's a good way to put
It's
it.
because Ronan used to walk around here with a earpiece and be able to direct people. That's why.
Ah, is that what it is?
That's what it is. I'm actually sensing a vibe from a lot of the teams just wandering around the building. There's like a relaxed focus. There seems to be sort of like a chill vibe heading through a lot of these teams at the start of the split, which I would not have expected. I would have expected a lot more like tension and stress. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, when you have so many people go overseas, it gives a lot of new players like the ability to step into some of that limelight. And I think some of those players, like Praylist we've mentioned a couple of times, are going to start to grab those opportunities to actually be, the stars of their teams.
Yep.
And also, it should give them a lot more confidence because all of a sudden you don't have to play against people like FBI and Roma all the time, right? So it's not like you're this little plant that's being overshadowed by these huge trees. You actually have an opportunity of being able to step on to Summoner's Rift.
You don't have to fill big shoes. You can come in and just play the way you want to play.
You can fill your own shoes. That's the best part.
And because there's so many new teams, and like really only Order has like an existing core, I think. Like, you can argue a little bit of Direwolves is from Avant, right? But everyone should be like playing new styles of League of Legends because you're not coming into a team and like, okay, on this team I have to be FBI light or Swiffer light or something like that. You're coming onto a team and you're just like, okay, I can just, tell the team how I like to play and we should be able to have good times doing it.
It's good. It's a bit of like a growth talent-wise, bit of growth here for the OPL, which is exciting.
Absolutely.
I see in the chat, Fayray101 says, is the MPL coming back this season? You better believe it.
Oh, do you know what else is coming back? Nick Bad.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Our favourite segment.
Real good.
It's our favourite segment.
Yeah,
What
it's
is this
great.
segment?
Yeah.
What's
You've
the
never
segment?
seen Nick Bad?
No.
I've never seen
This
it
is
either,
when-
Fish. It's okay, mate.
You know whose
I don't know
favourite
what it is.
segment it was?
It was Bryce's.
It was Bryce's favourite
And
segment.
unfortunately, he's dead. Nick Bag, of course, is where we answer all the questions that you have about life, love, relationships, medical advice. We are trained medical professionals.
But preferably not League of Legends. If we could keep the League of Legends questions to a minimum.
Look, we talk about League of Legends as much as we have to on this
Does the
podcast.
OPL talk about the League of Legends?
You just saw a bunch of League of Legends.
Yeah, but we talk about the League of Legends.
Those two did not shut up about League of Legends for like 35 minutes.
It's a tangent on sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah, that's all I really know.
And then it ended up with an analysis of the looks of the team at the end. But that's how we do. So please start sending in your questions for the Nick Bag tomorrow to asknickboy@gmail.com and we'll get those on the show.
And just to clarify, send the questions in today so we can answer them tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you send them in after the broadcast tomorrow, probably too late.
You're an idiot. All right, so I don't have a smooth segue for this one, so instead I'm just going to say, Fish, we're turning the focus back onto you.
Great.
We've done the TikTok, and from what I can tell, the people loved it.
I think I lost followers doing that.
But the real reason that you're in the country is not just to join us tonight, but to join someone else forever.
Yes, that's right. I'm getting married on Sunday. That's why I'm back in Australia.
Congratulations, it's very exciting.
Thank you.
I was not invited. So I thought that we could just talk through the
Really?
wedding on Sunday. Fish, I don't know if you know this, but I wasn't invited. So if you could give me a rough idea of what I will be missing, because Rusty, I wasn't invited. So where is it?
It's going to be in my mum's backyard in Newcastle.
That's very nice.
Yes.
And what's the dress code?
Summer soiree.
What the hell
And
is
I
that?
know that I know that this is coming up because both Spawn and Rusty have both asked me what the hell is summer soiree.
What is summer soiree?
Do you know what I did? I just bought my whole wardrobe. I just picked up my wardrobe, my walk-in robe, and I just put it on a plane and I bought everything. So whatever you need me to wear, I'll wear. I'll do like costume changes until I get the right outfit for summer soiree.
I'm going to be completely honest, even I don't know what summer soiree is actually meant to look like. But the best way it's been described to me has been comfortable enough to stand outside for a prolonged period of time while still being okay taking a picture next to someone in a full suit.
It's a hybrid between semi-formal and casual. Depending on the destination, take a jacket, and ladies should expect to wear chunky heels, as summertime soiree attire is usually needed for outdoor events. It's like long summer dresses.
Yeah, and wedges.
wedges.
Maybe a flower in their hair for girls. This is what I got it described to me as.
So what we're saying is it's fun. We figured out the girls part.
Absolutely, that was easy.
That was the easy part.
And then, do you know what it is for guys? I figured this out as well. It's all the clothes that guys in catalogs own and no actual human male owns. Like, you know,
right.
pencil-thin ties and, like, really loud, like, some of Rusty's shirts. Like, we'll raid Rusty's wardrobe.
You could wear that
And
thing.
then
you
I
got
got plenty of
Maybe,
Wear that
like,
thing.
Oh,
We'll
wear
wear
that thing.
that.
you know, like, boat shoes and, like, three-quarter chinos.
Yeah.
No one owns these clothes.
Do you own any of those clothes, Kimmy?
I don't.
All right,
I'm not trendy enough.
That's why you weren't invited either.
Nah.
What are
Okay.
you wearing? Because that will guide the boys. Now, you don't want to show him up, but
I actually have my wedding outfit.
Go
No, I
get it.
don't. I took it out before I took the bag here.
where is it?
It's back in the hotel room.
God damn it.
Can't get it.
Can you just show us some of your other clothes?
But apparently he's wearing a vest and a shirt. He doesn't wear ties because they rub against his neck.
Okay.
And I assume some form of pant or skirt.
Actually, yeah, my pants actually look very similar to this.
So, are there gifts?
No.
No.
No gifts either way, and we've put on our wedding invitations, which you didn't get, unfortunately.
No, I don't
we
know
put
if you know
our
this.
wedding invitations if anyone wanted to give us gifts to donate it to the various funds that are currently fighting the fires in Australia instead.
That's very good.
So originally it was going to a animal shelter, but then
Mhm.
we changed that once the fires started spreading a little bit more.
So I have a question.
Please.
If he tells me
Yep.
that I have to donate to go to his wedding,
Yep.
which it doesn't say you must donate, but it's like, hey, this is our wedding. It would be great if you could join us. Like, nice. You're a valued member of our friendship group, and that's why you're invited, right? Sorry, Nick. Then it's like, by the way, no presents. We're cool with getting no presents, but give money to these people, right? Which is like a little bit guilt trippy, but it's for a good cause.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
all about it. But do I get to claim the tax deduction, or does he get
Yes.
to claim the tax deduction?
No, you get to.
Have you provided a link? Or are you taking the money and promising to donate?
No, we provide
that's fraud.
direct link. We provide a direct link to the different
Okay.
places.
You get the
So
tax.
you get the
deduction.
tax
Okay.
deduction.
That's good. You sorted on this as well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to ask that question again.
No, you just need to figure out what the hell you're going to wear.
Yeah,
All right.
true.
Well, there you go. That's the wedding. It's very exciting. I'm sure there'll be lots of beautiful photos. I can't wait to watch them while I'm in my underwear at home, which I believe is summer soiree. And I'll just watch the whole thing on Twitter. So that's lovely. Right now is the chance for you to jump in and give me a last-minute invitation. Not going to happen? All right. Let's move on to game number 3. It is Pentanet versus the Chiefs. Let's take a look at the Pentanet lineup, because these are the very new, well, at least team on the block, but a lot of old boys who've been around the block. Jake?
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm really excited about this team. Biopanther in the top laner, obviously from the Direwolf. Sully was ordered substitute last year. Get back in the middle, another Direwolfian. Traded over from Legacy with Rogue, the last remaining member of this kind of core. Pentanet obviously acquired the Bombers spot. And what's not on the screen is Windows Monkey, Split 1, coach of the Split, and, you know, the leader of the Bombers outfit that actually won the whole thing is going to be standing behind them. I'll go out on a limb, and I don't normally do this, but two of these players we looked at very closely in the offseason to actually pick up on order. I think that everyone is sleeping on this team. I think this team is, like, bloody awesome, to be honest.
You look at that lineup, that is a strong team,
Yeah,
Jake.
definitely.
Right, sorry, Rusty?
I mean, all of the individual
Jake's
players,
over there.
all of the individual players that have been picked up by this team are good. The only question mark for me is Sully, and you know, it's about exposure for him, right? We've seen one game, it was a loss. It didn't mean anything. He played fine, and then the game ended. But Praetus was like the star of his team when he was there as well. Get Back was
Star of League of Legends, if you talk to him.
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's Challenger, by the way. Get Back was nuts towards the end of the split as well. Had very good performances and really started to ramp up. And like the same thing when Biopanther's in good form, looks unstoppable,
Yep.
right? So that could be said for every player. Put it all together in a team. The only question you have for Pentanet is how good are you as a team?
And I think it should be good, because when you join a team, having built them myself, what you have to worry about is a little bit of like the egos, like who's the top dog, like how do they figure it out, like, you know, there's a lot of that, you know, if you bring, I don't know, I'll use a random example, but you bring Raze and Babip onto the same team, like they finished first and second last year and were two of the most important peoples on their respective lineups.
Yeah.
They have to sort out the leadership side, right? And it seems like they've done that on Legacy very well. But with a team like this, I think it's a lot of people that were kind of on middle of the pack teams, but were good players. And I'm sure their response is, I'm just happy that I'm on a really good team now.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think the teamwork level and the dedication to the game should actually be the highest for this team.
Well, Pentanet, we and Western Australia are behind you. You guys are going up against the Chiefs, a name that is synonymous with success and power and winning in the OPL, but not with 90% of this lineup. Rusty?
Yeah, very different in certain places here. Of course, Tian's going to be starting this year. Swiper, of course, with order now. You've got Croc in the jungle. Claire, mid laner, still going to be that franchise player there to look towards. Katsuri, who was a very good AD carry last year, someone to look for in the Chiefs. And Korea CK taking up the support position.
How do we feel about Chiefs?
When I was on the OPL, Chiefs were the team that barely ever changed. Like when Radier moved away from the Chiefs, that was a big event that took place. I don't recognize anyone except for Claire, and even he is relatively new for me to see in the mid lane.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Korea CK is obviously Korean. He was just running around solo queue over the summer break and was absolutely destroying people. Really, really great Thresh player. Croc played in the LJL secondary league, I believe, finished third over there. Was on an academy team for LGD at one point as well, if my information is correct. And he plays a lot like the LPL style of jungle. He doesn't play the slow, measured Korean style jungle. He plays a very in-your-face kind of SOFME style that has become really popular in China now. And I think that this is a lineup that has to play aggressively to win. I kind of put them in the same basket as Avant, actually, where I expect winning lanes to be drafted for this team and for them to try and go really hard early because they don't have the leadership that other teams will have in the league to take games late, in my opinion.
And I think that's true in this particular game as well, right? Like, you've got the pretty consistently good players on the opposing side.
Yeah.
I expect them to be really good team fighters. So you want to come in hard and fast in this game very early.
All right, well, exciting to see what is about to come before us. But before we get to that, just a very short ad for the game that I'm going to be playing while Fish gets married.
All right, let's get into the third game of today. It's going to be Pentanet taking on the Chiefs.
And we don't get many directions from producers on the OPL. Like, they're fairly, free-flowing. But the one thing they said we had to say is every time we go to Champion Select, please call it the Macca's Champion Select. And I think we've missed it all 3 games. So welcome to the Macca's Champion Select, guys. We're here for game number 3. It is going to be Pentanet on the blue side, taking on the Chiefs on the red side. And Fish, you told me that you're a color caster. So why are you doing the play-by-play role?
Nah, look, I was just messing with you, Spawn. I've been a color caster for a year now, and I actually haven't casted a League of Legends game since probably before the Gauntlet started for the OPL last year. It's been quite some time.
Fills me with confidence, as always. Checking out.
I know that when I cast for you, you're always filled with confidence.
Exactly right. Checking out the bands. It's going to be Lucian, Mordekaiser, Kiana taken off the board. Set, Rumble, Akali. So very similar bands as we've seen all day so far. It's going to be Biopanther picking up the Ornn for the first pick, Fish, color caster. Tell me why Ornn is good in the current meta.
Well, Ornn is great. You were actually telling me why Ornn was great during the break, which is you can get the free upgrades now, the different builds that your players will be picking up. So you were saying it's worth about, what, 4,000 gold? That's a heck amount of gold.
4,000 for Ornn-ish, generally. I mean, the upgrades are valued like 1,400 to 1,800-ish per item, and then, you know, one for everyone else.
But tell me about the other 2 picks we have here. Lisa has been a staple jungler since before I can even remember League of Legends. But Aphelios, the newest AD carry being added to League of Legends, only has a single ability and his ultimate, and the rest of the time it's just changing between 5 different weapons. Tell me about this guy, because I have read up on him multiple times, watched many games of him being played, and I still do not understand him.
Yeah, so he always starts with the same 2 items, right? He's going to have his daggers, which are the lifesteal, and he's going to have the long-range sniper rifle. And Aphelios is one of those champions that his damage is really deceiving. He builds a lot of flat AD early. You know, goes Essence Reaver into IE, then he's going to pick up something like a Hurricane. And if you just allow him to set up and control an area, he can take over the game. Walking into him, very dangerous. However, we've seen all the CC coming out so far, and that is a fairly immobile lineup so far for the Chiefs. So this is going to have to be Katsuri playing very well, positioning to the utmost if he's going to be able to survive Sully and Biopanther on this Ornn and Gragas combo.
Yeah, because Gragas and Misfortune were just picked up by Pentanet. We've seen quite a bit of Misfortune be played today, all 3 games.
Yeah.
We've even seen the Misfortune against Filius matchup in game number 1 of today.
Yeah, the strut is just like great. She zooms around Summoner's Rift super quick, so great for all the rotations that we talk about. Not to mention the fact that her team fight control is kind of second to none. Always has been. That bullet time combo, even when it was back with like a Moo, and you know, they used to have the Curse of the Sad bullet time combo that they'll throw out. Now you've got things like the Hot Pot coming across, you know, expect to see maybe something like Leona joining it down in the bottom lane. And I think that this is a really good team fighting comp coming from Pentanet. And as we said, Chiefs, a little bit more individual flair. That's most likely going to be Claire taking the Diana into the mid lane. She is one of those champions that was slightly reworked. Her R is now her E and her E is her R. So she can dash before level 6. It gives her a lot more aggressive options in the laning phase.
And they've gone with even more aggressive options. After the bans go through a Pantheon, Renekton, and Braum, as well as Camille being taken away, Yasuo gets locked in for the Chiefs here.
And that's really interesting, right? Because that means Korea CK is going to get counter pick. So that's a first thing. Secondly, they obviously were very worried about Get Back playing it, because that is the Gragas Yasuo combo that can be locked in, which means that maybe Thien will be playing the Diana in the top lane. Generally, you want mages into tanks over melee kind of bruisery assassins into tanks. I actually think Ornn would just straight up kill Yasuo most of the game if he took Spellbook. There's going to be the Leona picked up as well.
I mean, we were talking about it on the couch earlier, that Pentanet, a bunch of really strong players, you know, being led by a great coach, and then you look at the side of the Chiefs, all really strong individual players. Everybody here is just Alpha Blood. Aatrox being picked up by Pentanet now, just waiting to see what the Chiefs use to round out their composition.
Yeah, and Get Back has really done one of his old school things, right? He can play so many of the tanks and bruisers. He used to play a ton of Scion. So I would not be surprised if that's a mid lane Ornn being picked up. And that really does shut down like all the aggressive tools coming across. It means it's going to be a skill matchup in the top lane as well, because Aatrox can win against both of these champions. Really love what Pentanet has put together with their draft here, and I do feel like the Chiefs will have to hit the sickest Diana-Yasuo combo if they actually want to be able to out-team fight.
Well, they've got a few ways to do that. Nautilus is going to help them out with a few knockups, Lisa and Ken as well, but Pentanet's composition, not just in lane, but also in team fights, looks absolutely ridiculous. And you were saying on the couch earlier that it's really going to be up to the Chiefs for them to win if they win their lanes and set up Croc for success with a different style of jungle he plays. But it seems like Pentanet have read that like a book, and they've selected a composition that will help them out in those situations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that as we get into this game, where I really want to be able to focus is at mid-jungle 2v2, because Sully and Get Back are playing 2 champions that if they get ahead, do a surprising amount of damage for how tanky they are. And then on the flip side, you've got Lee Sin as well as Yasuo, and I don't see how they kill the Ornn. So what that means is they're going to have to be able to get pushed and generate fights in the river. So 2 conflicting playstyles coming in here. I think that Pentanet have a much easier comp to execute upon. And once again, that individual flair must be there for the Chiefs players if they have any chance of taking over this early game and creating a good enough snowball to take on the raw team fighting pressure that is there for Pentanet's comp.
We'll have to see what's going to take place going into match number 3 of today. We'll be starting with an interview first. Joining us,
Windows Monkeys of
Monkey from
Pentanet. So, talk to me about Pentanet. New team.
It's been really great to work with Pentanet. They seem really keen to be involved in the OPL, and yeah, it's just been really great working with them so far.
What's it like bouncing over, well, not so much into a new team per se, but lots of new players coming into the roster, you know, working with them from scratch? How's that been so far?
I think this is the team which I've probably enjoyed working with the most so far.
Ooh.
I think everyone...
Including your European teams as well?
Yeah, I mean, I was an analyst on a European team, so it's a lot different dynamic because you're just kind of one cog in that in a pretty big machine. Whereas when you're in Oceania, it's a lot more of a tight-knit group, and these players are all very friendly, all get along really well, very positive. So they're just like, it's a really enjoyable group to be a part of.
And I guess the 2 people that 2 players on your team that people would probably know the least about is Praedyth and Sully, right? Because they've never really been on the top teams like the Direwolves and, you know, the Bombers like Rogue and the other guys have been. So talk to me about Praedyth and Sully and how they've kind of integrated into this team and what we can expect from them.
Yeah, well, with Praedyth, we just thought he was a really criminally underrated player. He was obviously on the Legacy lineup, which, you know, had a really rough season, and being an AD carry in teams that's always behind. But, you know, we watched all of his games, and we thought that he was a player that had performed really well in spite of the results not being there for his team. For Sully, this was just a case of my manager obviously knew he'd been on order as a trainer a trainee, and he's just somebody who really wanted a shot, great mentality, really motivated. So yeah, we were super keen to work with him because of that.
And what are the goals of Pentanet?
I think that the goals for Pentanet is just to improve as much as possible and just to put on our best showing which we possibly can in the league for the split.
Well, there we go. Thank you so much for joining us here. Best of luck going into this match against Chiefs. We'll talk to you guys later on if you guys are successful.
Thank you very much.
And of course, I butchered his name and used the old one, Western Way. It's going to be a flash burnt there from Croc.
Get back already down pretty low. Flash. Then move forward. Claire wants to go forward as well. Ignite goes through, and first blood stylishly picked up here by the Chiefs.
And this is what we said. It has to be this mid-jungle duo going nuts in the early game. This is what I expect to see from the Chiefs when you have a look at them. It is going to be a spellbook pick up there for get back, so he's able to teleport back into the lane. But now with Croc in Suli's jungle, oh,
Suli does have the level advantage, but Croc has taken away the red buff. He'll head straight back over towards his side of the jungle. So does get the 3 buff on over towards Gragas and gets the extra kill onto the mid lane of get back, but is going to be a little bit slower in behind when it comes to clearing the rest of his jungle.
yeah, and I think that this has been a really interesting start to the game as we're talking to Western Way. What we saw is Rogue and Praetor playing very aggressively, trying to fight for some of that priority. And then Suli was doing a very greedy topside clear that was spotted out. Hawk is going to be on there.
Just takes half his health and damage, but he's okay, you were saying.
Tis a mere flesh wound, top lane.
Oh, top lane. They're in a lot of trouble. Biopanther cancels an auto attack and is not able to go any further forward against Diana.
Yeah, ridiculously long cooldowns on Aatrox. That's kind of the balancing window that Riot have gone for that champion. So it does a lot of burst damage if you're able to land those abilities. But not really going to look for sustained trades outside of auto attacks.
What do you think of Diana at the moment, given that the small rework has just come through? You can see the double Doran start coming out from Thien in the top lane.
I think she's bloody broken, mate. I think she is so incredibly strong, and that people just really don't understand her damage windows all that well, so don't really play her that much. Biopanther looking for a very aggressive reset here. He's in trouble.
A lot of damage from Thien. Lots of minions fighting back against Diana. Flash being used already. Thien going forward. Good auto attack coming through. Just a bit more of a burst will be enough, but doesn't quite have the mark to take down Biopanther.
Yeah, and I mean, that was so close. I think Biopanther really greedily stayed for that. Wanted to get the wave into the turret. Maybe didn't want to have to burn the teleport to get back into lane.
In hindsight, though, he gains a lot there. Lots of minions were denied. Double flash being burnt. Croc's in trouble top side of the map. Suli goes for a quick fight. He tags the Scuttle Crab, and Biopanther's going to join in on this fight. Suddenly over the wall. Jumps towards Croc. Gets out of the hell chains coming out through. Biopanther going to kite backwards. Suli going to go forward as well. Big knock up coming out from Get Back. Croc going forward. Suli's the first one to go down. The end's going to be able to pick up that kill. Croc managed to get out just in time. Biopanther trying to kite this one backwards. Croc sits him again. Lee Syndrome picked up the double kill coming in for the end of the top lane. Get Back now after his mighty knockups. Not going to be able to escape through the blast cone. Does dodge out Croc. Smacks him with the hammer to pick up a return kill. But Claire will get the last laugh here, chasing down Get Back for that final kill.
Yeah, and in the bottom lane, meanwhile, Crazy Care goes down.
Ooh, double kill being picked up here by PGG in the bottom lane. Katsuri will take down Praetor. Praetor will fall eventually after, with some damage over time.
Yeah, and I mean, the kill distribution there is a bit of a disaster for Pentanet because Rogue's going to be picking up both of those kills. Meanwhile, you have a look at the solo laners rocking the 2 kills, and now 1 picked up for Aphelios as well. Chiefs, we said, needed to have that explosive start. Needed to look for fights in the river. Well, that's exactly what they have been doing, Fish. A little bit of bottom lane action as well. We take a look at the replay. I think there's going to be a flash tag onto Katsuri maybe that starts it all off. No, they put a lot of the damage into Korea CK. And you can see Katsuri is just sitting there, hitting greedily. And that's why this looks like such an even trade. I thought that they would have been able to turn around and do damage early to Katsuri, but did not go for it. Was running the cleanse, and that was enough to dissuade the members of Pentanet.
Yeah, very close dice to the range minions at the very end there. So Praetor was close, but no cigar being picked up. Pentanet do get the 2 kills, but like you said, kill distribution going in favor of Katsuri in the bottom lane. Has already been able to pick up his BF sword down there. Rogue looking to go aggressive once again. Praetor's going to tag him. Soli's coming down into the bottom lane as well. No summon spells available for Pentanet's team. Katsuri, we take that very low. Rogue picks up his 3rd kill of the game as they support Leona. Korea CK will be able to walk away.
Build a Sheen Rogue. That's what I'm saying. Like, get me some damage in this build now. You got 3 kills. Praetor would have loved any of them. However, that one looked like it was maybe a little bit out of reach. You don't want to have to chase into a Lee Sin or anything like that early game. Sully being fairly active, looking for fights early on. Maybe even a dive might be coming across here. No, just a Rift Scuttle instead.
I mean, you joke about building a Sheen, but it's accelerated his items. He's got Moby Boots already on Leona. Was crucial in him being able to chase down the rest of the Chiefs in the bottom lane earlier. So Pentanet are fighting back, but on the bottom side of the map, we'll have to see if Rogue's going to be able to use the money he's gained as Leona to start to siphon some over towards his AD carrier Praetor.
This is a big roam up the top side. They do have both ultis available. We'll see if they go for the combo.
Let's see if they go for the dive. Biopanther pops
Oh,
his
he missed.
ultimate right away. Thien going to take some damage from the tower. Does he get pulled back? Doesn't quite. Sidesteps away from it. Biopanther happy to stand his ground and fight. Sully and Croc also make their way up towards top side of the map.
And this is really nice from Rogue. Check out his positioning on the map, making sure if there's any action, he's going to be there. As you said, using the early gold advantage that he was able to pick up to be able to unlock himself from bottom lane and get around Summoner's Rift. Also looks like he's going for a stone plate, much more popular item for supports nowadays. And he's nearly, halfway towards the items, component-wise.
Checking in the game in general, it's 4 to 5 in kills, and it's about 500 gold of a lead to the Chiefs right now. So they have the tempo and the advantage that they really need to control the game, like we were mentioning earlier. Just don't quite have that gold lead you'd like very early into the match.
And they used so much of their time to start up that dragon, which was ultimately not successful due to Katsuri being picked off in the bottom lane, right? So that was a lot of that tempo that we like to talk about in League of Legends, which is just your ability to make a move before your opponent can react. Wasted there. And you can see that that's made bottom lane a little bit of a nightmare fit.
Yeah, Praetor is just freezing the wave right now. Rogue with the Chain Vest is happy to just stand in between the wave and say if Katsuri ever comes close without that sniper rifle available, he's going to get locked down by Leona. So Pentanet really playing this one nice and slow. They've got the level advantage as well with Praetor hitting level 6 and Katsuri still on level 5.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with Misfortune at this stage of the game. She's completely happy with where she's at. See Claire and Croc picking up the blue buff. That was spotted out nicely, and some good ward coverage in the bottom lane means that River is going to be a little bit more of the highway of Pentanet, despite the early kills and damage of Croc. Actually got himself 4 assists. It's a little bit of a feels bad. Even though Jungle has kind of been gutted at the moment, 1 or 2 kills in the early game can really accelerate the pace at which you can play. He's level 6 now, though.
This crucial way is given the kills too, which, like you said earlier, is the solo lanes. Pentanet have decided to take this time to start up the Infernal Dragon.
Can you challenge us if you are Chiefs? Rogue is level 6, so they might look for it.
Oh, get backs here as well. Claire's going to try and rotate around. Croc wants to see if he can jump into pit. Jumps over towards Claire. Bullet time over the wall on towards the Infernal. Doesn't get stolen away. Get back's going to try and charge out of here. And a nice ultimate for Sully. Going to knock all the Chiefs backwards. They may go for a single pickup here as Get Back's being caught out. Uses an exhaust over towards the end. Flash coming out from Claire again. Deja vu in between the 2 turrets. And Chiefs will get 1 kill for their troubles.
And that was really nicely played from the Chiefs. They were able to continue the chase and they picked themselves up to kill on the mid lane. And that means mid lane turret should take some damage here. However, what was also really nicely played was the micro from Get Back. He used the W to stop himself getting knocked up. Can't be displaced there, of course, with Ornn. And then was able to just continue to bait them out. It meant that he actually got 3 summoner spells for his death. So even though he fell down, even though he gave over some of that mid lane turret damage, overall was fairly well played from the young ex-Dire Wolfian.
Yeah. Infernal Dragon and a couple of summoner spells to boot. Not bad for Get Back. Does put them down by about 1,000 gold behind the Chiefs. And they're going to start up Rift Herald number 1 here 10 minutes into the match. Chiefs are grouping up. Looks like they want to contest this. Neither Diana nor Aatrox are here, but both have teleport to jump in. Here we go. Claire jumps in first. Bullet time gets blocked out by the wind wall, but it's going to be a shutdown going over towards the Yasuo. Curious CK uses the stopwatch. Nice and on time here for Thien to get into this fight. Jumps in. Croc gets another kill towards Prey. The smite's being used up the Rift Hill. That's going low as well. Get Back's in trouble. Chiefs wipe the floor with Pentanet.
And I just don't know what Pentanet were doing there, Fish, because they didn't have teleport and the Chiefs did, which meant that Biopanther could just never get there. Not to mention the fact that Praetor didn't have the bullet time for that fight. He used it to take the dragon. So the Chiefs walk in with all their ultimates still available. They wipe the floor, and now they're nearly going to be able to break this mid lane turret.
Should be able to take this down fairly low using the Rift Herald right away. So big team fight, getting a lot of gold from the turret plates in the mid lane. Thien even getting some good damage topside of the map. But here's that fight again. Starts off with Claire jumping straight into it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really great layering of CC, but Katsuri is just untouched, and you have to do the stopwatch tech at the start of the fight. Korea CK just delays for so long, and you see that Rogue very hesitant to rejoin this one. The health bars are low, but just enough CC that Get Back can never move, and the Chiefs have started this game in such blistering pace. The jungler has 8 kill participation before 11 minutes. And I feel like Pentanet must have been really caught by surprise because a lot of teams coming into the OPL were talking about how aggressive Croc is, but that he can be caught out. And I feel like they just haven't really respected the way Croc likes to play the game.
It does feel like Chiefs lineup is almost the perfect storm to try and upset what Pentanet wants to do here, especially with the way Croc's been playing in the early game. You look back to when he only had the 4 assists, he was everywhere inside the jungle trying to help out his solo laners. Now, 8 kills he's participated in of the 9 that have been picked up by Chiefs so far.
And once again, really nice positioning, right? They send 3 members to defend top side of the map. Meanwhile, Claire is just getting solo farm bottom lane. That means that they're going to take even more turret plating. Still 2 minutes of this. And if they can't force the action and create a fight in the top lane, then this is a really great start to the game for the Chiefs.
And if you're looking at the minimap, Claire is, while he's hitting this turret, the rest of the Chiefs are moving back into where their second turret is. So they're okay giving up some damage, but they go for a big play. Leona gets knocked backwards. Big combo coming out from the ultimates from both the bottom lane players from Pentanet. We'll return that 2 for 1. We'll slowly get a lot of damage on towards this tower. But Claire is also chipping away at that bottom turret during this time.
But once again, it is the utility members of Pentanet that grab themselves the kills. It's going to be Sully grabbing the majority of that. And once, just Praetor would love to have any of the shutdowns available. That was 2 shutdowns being picked up there underneath that turret. Wasn't able to get himself either. Meanwhile, you can see Diana goes back, grabs a Nash's Tooth. Items being completed aplenty right now for the Chiefs. And Pentanet, even though it's only 1,600 gold, feel like they're, you know, one bad mistake away from not really being able to recover this game. All 3 turrets are on such low health.
Yep. You can kind of take stock of what happened there during the small split that we had. Claire was able to get the bottom lane turret down to 2 turret plates left. Top side, exactly the same from Pentanet. They traded 2 for 1 in kills. But now Chiefs have hit those item spikes. You see a Phantom Dancer already been picked up here by Yasuo. Diana is going to be able to pick up her first item as well, and still has the stopwatch available for the next team fight. So Chiefs might be looking to try and pick a fight around either second Rift Herald or the second Dragon to spawn of the match.
And this is interesting, right? Because Pentanet deploying away from Dragon means that they don't really want to contest. And when you have a look at their composition, they are very ulti reliant. So I can understand that until ultimates are back up and available, they don't really want to be able to go for this. So instead, they just go top lane. They're trying to farm some gold into Praetor. He hasn't got himself any kills, but that's all 5 plates of that turret now, and first brick being picked up.
Turret's going to be taken down top side of the map. Mid lane in a bit of trouble here, but like you mentioned, Chief's going to go straight over towards that Dragon. Pentanet going to continue pushing on the top side of the map. They will eventually take down that bottom lane out of turrets.
And I feel like this is a bit of a misplay from the Chiefs because they don't have anyone that builds MR or armor outside of Nautilus. So this Mountain Dragon really does diddly squat for them, right? Instead, they've just traded their whole topside jungle, the vision that's available for it, and 2 turrets. If they get this mid lane turret, it is going to be a bit of a better news story, but you can see that they're even maybe looking to challenge a third, if not collapse on Katsuri at the minimum.
Are they collapsing on a Katsuri, or have the Chiefs caught out Get that? He's in a bit of trouble. Sniper shot doesn't connect. Croc tags him, gets some good damage. Will pick up that kill. Chiefs find a quick counter pick in the mid lane.
Strange there from Get Back, not using opening with the ultimate on Katsuri, instead using his face. So yes, you're right. It does end up with the Pentanet Gaming mid laner. Unfortunately, in the respawn chamber.
Flash for it again, trying to catch up Praetor. Quick flash, gets him out of there and uses the ultimate to clear the way.
It's a very interesting game so far.
It diffuses the situation. I mean, top lane inner turret was taken down. They're pushing towards the inhibitor turret there. Meanwhile, the Mountain Dragon got taken down, and it's an Ocean Dragon coming up next. So lots of brush has now spawned in the Summoner's Rift map.
And Ocean Dragon brushes have been giving teams nightmares so far.
Yeah, we've had nothing but Ocean Dragon brushes today.
We've had a couple of, you know, sneaky Dragon plays off the back of it. Especially last game from Gravitas, getting the Kiana in the pit, just being able to blow up the Lee Sin.
There's a sneaky Aatrox being thrown in there as well.
There was. Top Home was a sneaky Aatrox, that's right, game number 1. So crazy thinking about the amount of movement that happened in the OPL offseason. Especially, as you said, around the Chiefs lineup. It kind of felt like Swiper was going to be the oldest player in the OPL ever that had really not left the team. Then to lose Raze in the same offseason. Of course, Legacy with a great pickup there. But I think the Chiefs lineup so far has done their org pretty proud, you know. They're 2,000 gold up in this game, matched the Dragon. Once again, looking to trade turrets for other objectives.
I also feel like they're playing around the playstyle of Croc very well so far.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the tools to success for the Chiefs. And the main question's been answered. They can play to that playstyle. Now, can they use it to close out games? Because that's the part where I still think they've been a little bit sloppy so far.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, Getback's now 2 levels down. Claire's built himself a very nice lead. Top lane Biopanther has got himself a level advantage and is up 40 CS, however, Thien with the 4 kills. And it's pretty interesting how both teams are deciding to play 2 lanes. Primarily around, you know, Claire's lane or Biopanther's lane, depending on whether you're Pentanet or the Chiefs. And then just limiting the farm that can be picked up. We're 17 minutes in the game and no one is anywhere near like 9 CS a minute. This has been a very bloody affair so far.
I mean, it's really been the map split apart even before the first turrets went down.
Yeah.
The 4 people splitting top side of the map for Pentanet. Then we had Chiefs split pushing in the bottom lane with Claire. And it still even feels like that. No one's grouping up for fights here, which is strange. I thought Pentanet would want to try and take some 5-on-5 fights, especially after Misfortune got the first item, which is now complete. The Essence Stream is ready to go.
I think you definitely want Infinity Edge on Misfortune. For those that don't know, her ult scales really well with crit. So definitely after losing the first skirmish of the game in the top river, they would be very aware of how accelerated their opponents are and just, you know, taking that deep breath, slowing the game down. Ultimates last forever in this game, Fish, so they're not going anywhere.
Just difficult to think how Misfortune's going to survive when you've got 3 players from the Chiefs that can easily just beeline into the back line of Pentanet, take out Praetor nice and easy, and start working on the other threats in the squad. Both supports will be able to pick up their Gargoyle Stone Plate already. So that's going to help them out being a little bit more tanky in the fight itself.
Rift Herald summoned in the mid lane. Pentanet looks like they want to go top.
Pentanet going to be able to knock down the bottom lane in a turret here, but this entire time Rift Herald is charging in the mid lane for the Chiefs. An aggressive play that pays off. Thien has teleport available as well if he needs to join the Chiefs in the mid lane. Recalls have not gone out just yet. The Chiefs will be able to get the charge of potentially the first inhibitor turret of the match.
Really nicely played from the Chiefs. Thien just respecting side lanes so well. However, now they need to be careful because the whole lineup is here.
Rogue looked like he wants to go in, but very nice dodge coming out from Croc to disengage there. And Pentanet will lose their inhibitor in the mid lane.
And that's a big deal because they don't really have anyone that deals with super creeps great. I mean, not an attack speed 80 coming across for Praetor, so he's going to have a harder time than usual. It's not like it's a Cogmore or Vayne that you can just park in the mid lane. You see, Getback had a little bit of a nightmare game so far. 1 of 5, has very much struggled. So I think the Chiefs just playing very well. Claire's Yasuo has thrown a big spanner in the work because Getback would have loved to be able to ulti that creep wave, buy as much time as possible, but with the Yasuo in the game, you just can't do that. Windwall just completely nullifies Ornn's ultimate.
And it stops 3 of the key ultimates that Pentanet have. Gragas, Ornn, as well as Misfortunes. So multiple ways for Claire to use that in this game. And so far it's been very successful. If you look back at the first Rift Herald fight, he was able to isolate Praetor just with 1 Windwall, making it so he can't auto-attack throughout majority of the half fight.
Yep.
Whereas, like you mentioned, Suri is able to just walk around and kite the rest of the players from Pentanet, get free damage there. He's been very, very strong player, not just in this match so far, but in every single split that I've seen Claire play, he's been phenomenal in the mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's one of those old school players that you feel like he should be nearly 30 now, and he's still so young. He's just been playing professionally since 16. He's a Melbourne boy as well.
He had a short stint in Korea, did he not?
Not
Korea, in
Korea.
Japan.
Yeah, LJL. Played over in the LJL and then came back and he was on the Legacy lineup and the Chiefs lineup. Very good control mage player, but also showing the fact that he can play things like Yasuo on stage as well.
Also, fantastic hair, by the way, Claire. Looks amazing.
Everyone with the looks today.
First day of the OPL, of course everyone's going to show up. Just wait till about week 6 or week 7, then you just start to see people get a little bit sloppy. Like, go for the haircut next week. But day 1, of course, everyone's getting ready for it. What happened to you? Like, I don't see any changes there. Just still
I'm a dad.
Same grumpy spawn.
I'm a dad, dude. We don't change. We just, as I'm going to take a seat, we just, you know, we show up and unfortunately with me, this is what you get.
It's as good as it's going to get?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to shave again, but Jenna won't let me. So, you know, the beard's staying for now.
I still want you to just have the mustache.
I think I look good with just the mustache.
The Ned Flanders mustache.
Yeah, I thought it was a good look. I showed a couple of people photos last night. I didn't get much support from the mustache, so unfortunately, I think it's staying, you know, in my head.
You don't need other people to validate your choices. You,
No, I
you
do.
can do you.
Because like the way I think about it, Fish, and we had this conversation,
We
is
did
that
actually.
I don't have to look at me.
That's true.
You have to look at me. So I shouldn't be offensive to you.
But if I'm going to look at you, I'd want to be able to at least laugh while looking at you.
Yeah, I mean, now you just have to sit there and think about how beautiful I am and how glorious my beard is.
Ugh. And we're still trying to figure out what's going on with this pause. We'll give you guys an update as soon as we get any more information. Sign of Pentanet though. Haven't quite seen too much from their squad so far. It looked like they were setting up to play towards their style. Rogue getting a few unfortunate kills in the bottom lane, which would have been very vital for Praedyth. But so far, nothing really working out for them. Like, I think your last points made the most sense. Claire has really been a big spanner in the works against all of the major tools that Pentanet want to use in these fights.
So now you have to think about, can we come from multiple directions? How do we start a fight maybe onto Claire and lock him in the chain CC? As opposed to someone like Katsuri. And I think that they still do have some big frontliners for the Misfortune to be able to play around. However, I think the Chiefs have just really weathered the storm well, and they're fighting fire with fire at a very high rate. And that's what we thought coming from the Chiefs. You know, Gorn, the methodical team fighters, I thought this was going to be a much more, you know, young mechanics crew team. And they've certainly showed that. Every single skirmish I think we've seen, you know, that's a 2v2 or a 3v3, the Chiefs have been able to handily win.
We'll have to see if they can continue to pick up these fire against fire team fights, as the Chiefs are now 3,000 gold ahead of Pentanet. We've resolved the issue. We're going to get straight back into the third match of today.
Well, you think we've resolved the issue. I didn't hear any confirmation that it was resolved. The game just started.
I mean, that is intuitive, is it not? The game has started. The issue is resolved.
Potentially.
It's like 1 + 1 spawn. It's 2, even if I don't say that. Right?
Good flash burn there from Clark to get out. I actually can't believe we flipped that.
You know what? I don't either. I thought it was going to be a hard no. Surprise!
And here we are.
You put me on the couch as well. It's fantastic.
What do you mean you have to be on the couch? That's how this show works.
Yeah, I thought I'd just, I thought I'd be, not allowed on the couch. Just walk in and commentate. Like, hi.
Yeah, well, we certainly weren't going to give you Bailey's bed. That's reserved for the special guests only. Isn't he such a weird hero, champion, Aphelios?
It's interesting.
What do you think of him so far?
I like that League of Legends is still finding ways to innovate the way a character's being played, except for your standard QWER. Like, even Set now has some unique interactions where one of his punches hits harder than the other.
Yep.
So I like that they are finding other ways besides just having different abilities to work in unique ways to make characters unique.
Yeah,
and
the old 1-2 good night for Set is
Yes.
very interesting.
1-2 good night. I'm actually upset he hasn't been played so far because that is what I've been dying to say all day. So if the next two teams could just not ban him, that'd be great.
He is very, very strong. His W is like one of the most busted abilities ever.
I
It's going to be a fight.
I watched Pabu on Twitter 1v4 someone. Croc goes in, gets a bit of damage early. Chiefs are still chasing through this one. There's Stian coming to back lines, brings two back, uses the stopwatch. Solely in a lot of trouble. Hook is on over towards Rogue. Solely be the first one to go down. Shut down, being picked up by the Chiefs. No turret here, so the Chiefs can march forward. Stopwatch just in time, but bullet time is there. Biopanther slams on down, getting a return kill for Pentanet.
And I'm actually surprised that Pentanet is so hesitant to take fights in the jungle, because that looked like Claire wasn't in position to be able to win wall the initial engage. However, it was Rogue and Sully backing away quite aggressively. And Chiefs chased in. They were able to get the first kill, but evened up there. Biopanther is certainly farmed enough that he has to be reckoned with. 2 items also picked up for Praedyth, so he's no slouch either. But this Chiefs line still just maintaining their 3,000 gold lead, still making sure that they're ahead in map pressure, that it's always going to be Pentanet face-checking them. They've done a very good job of controlling Summoner's Rift.
I mean, the patience from Pentanet there was very nice to see. As we take a look at the gold quickly, just want to point out that Get Back is 200 gold ahead of Rogue right now, so mid lane not doing all that hot for Pentanet.
But you say that, but he has himself the upgraded Sunfire case, which is 1,600 gold worth of additional items. So, that's closer to parity. And then you have something like the Abyssal Mask coming out next. He's going to be able to upgrade that as well. And then every single item that he's able to upgrade on the enemy team is just going to continue to, bridge that gold deficit that the Pentanet lineup find themselves in. So I feel like the Chiefs, you know, they're going to have another 5-ish minutes of good time before this game becomes a scaling nightmare.
Especially with Praetor now finishing that Infinity Edge. If that gets upgraded for Misfortune, that was the item we're waiting for Pentanet to complete before they start their next fights.
Yep.
If that gets upgraded, it's going to be even more deadly for Misfortune. As long as they continue playing patient the way they did in the last fight and find a way to work around Claire, which they did in the last fight, they might find some success here. It wasn't quite a good trade for them. At least stem the bleeding a little bit in the previous skirmish.
And Aphelios is definitely a 3-item carry, so Katsuri is going to need a little bit more time. That's why my eye's still very much trained on the Diana-Yasuo combo that we've been talking about. Obviously, Croc has also been fairly influential in this game, but I feel like the Chiefs are going to have to be, you know... It's hard for them to play these team fights still, I think, until Katsuri has his 3rd item. Until he has an Infinity Edge, then he's just that turret that can set up and kind of kill everyone.
I mean, 2 of the people that looking to dive both have stopwatches now. Thien's upgraded his into a Zhonya's Hourglass, and Claire's picked up his own stopwatch for the next few fights. Croc used his much earlier on, and now sitting with a broken stopwatch waiting to use that as an item later on.
We'll see whether they actually do decide to fight, because there's been a lot of trading so far. Mid lane inhibitor has respawned. You can see Dragon going to be up and available in the next 30 seconds. Baron also is there, but a couple of nice cheeky wards around corners means that Pentanet know that that hasn't been started.
I mean, if you look at the buff timers for Pentanet, that's going to be 4 minutes and 3 minutes before they're red and blue, so could always be Chiefs waiting to try and pick up their own small buffs for looking for the larger objectives. But both teams playing this one as safe as possible for now. It is a 3,000 gold lead for the Chiefs, but Pentanet are showing that they can slowly start to find skirmishes of their own against the Chiefs. It's just been a matter of clearing wards back and forth. Solely, aggressive Pentanet going to take away the wards on the top side of their jungle. Croc is going to try to look to take down an Ocean Dragon for his squad. That will give them Dragon number 3 to the Chiefs. Double Ocean.
Yeah, this is really great for the Chiefs, because now they have, you know, that Dragon, the soul point coming up. The fact that, you know, 1 more Dragon going to spawn before you get the soul, that's going to be a 3 Ocean Soul as well, which is just very annoying to deal with. Couple with that with the fact that you now put a timer on the game for Elder Dragon. We saw that last game with Harry just being able to auto-attack, Q, ignite, kill the support player with a LeBlanc. Kind of disgusting. So I think that this is the stage of the game where the Chiefs feel much more comfortable with how well they've controlled the objectives. You know, credit to Croc, has come in, played a really stellar Lee Sin game so far, and has been able to kind of put a timeline on this game.
Especially when you said the scaling from Pentanet could come back and bite them. They've already got 3 upgraded All-in items on their squad, but if they're able to secure that next Dragon and prevent Pentanet from getting a soul themselves, then all of a sudden that scaling might not even matter anymore for Pentanet.
And now it's time for kind of Western Way's team to, you know, continue to show that they are what he thinks they are, because he said they picked up Praetor because he was, you know, a really criminally underrated player. He's now 70 CS up, has his 3 items pretty much, is in a position to be able to carry this game, and a lot of it's going to have to be off Sully's resilience and being able to find one of those flanks. We keep mentioning it, but really it's only Gragas or Leona that can find a nice flank to disrupt the Yasuo enough to be able to, you know, start the fight the way they need to. So looking forward to this. Very nice ward. We'll spot out this Baron being started, however.
Yeah, 2 wards being placed down by Pentanet, both spotting the Chiefs starting on this Baron pit. Everyone's looking to try and group up. Diana has found a flank, but is spotted out by a scrying ward. Solly does get caught out there by Claire, but Chiefs are just going to simply disengage. It was the Predator Brutes being used by Solly to try and get in towards that pit, and this might just be the time for Chiefs to rinse and repeat. Look to continue trying to take this Baron away and force Pentanet to start a fight against them.
Yeah, once again, it has been started up, so they're going to have to challenge. See, get back the tanky man in the front line, see whether they get in.
They're only getting a knock up towards Rogue, but Rogue jumps in, gets a single stun. He's going to be locked down by Korea CK. Solely jumping into the fight, get back, gets a knock up. Big slam coming out from Dian, and that's the wombo combo the Chiefs were looking for. Absolutely demolishing Pentanet.
And you can see that Claire is rubbing his hands together. What a feast for the Chiefs mid laner. They're going to be able to push down mid. They're going to be able to end out this game. And in 28 minutes, the Chiefs style on Pentanet.
Absolutely styled on them. They don't even need to go back towards the Baron. They march it straight down into the mid lane. What a beautiful fight coming out from the Chiefs. They started it nice and slow and really just waited for the end to get the perfect slam. And My God, how perfect it was. Chiefs will take down Pentanet in day 1 of the OPL.
And I'm impressed. That was a clever team comp, and they needed to play it aggressively for it to be successful, and they really did that. They played this game at breakneck speed, and just fights from level 3 onwards at all stages for the Chiefs.
I'm just really happy to see that they were able to play towards Croc's playstyle, because every team that I have seen, not just in the OPL, but internationally in the LPL, the LCK, that has not been able to play towards a jungler's playstyle that is not quite as meta as your own region, has failed. And Chiefs were able to do so quite well in their first match back in the OPL.
And I think Thien, stepping into Big Swipser's shoes as the top laner of the Chiefs, also had a very good performance there on the Diana. He was never going to be the tank player. He's going to be in there and wanting to carry with his team. And I think that, you know, that is a big carry performance, especially nailing that last ultimate. 4 members getting Yasuo onto the back line. Thien and Claire playing very, very nicely as the remaining Chiefs duo.
And I'm still also excited to see what's next for Pentanet. Although they lost in this match here against the Chiefs, we were able to talk to their coach earlier. I'm excited to see if they're able to put the pieces of the puzzle together for the next few matches they have in the OPL. But for now, the rest of the men back on the couch, so we're going to send it back to Nick Boy and co. For our next segment.
That was disgusting.
It really was.
Gross.
We were just chilling upstairs, watching, and then loud
Murder.
screams, loud noises, and suddenly we're like, wait, what? And Yasuo did things.
We're slightly delayed upstairs, so the screen that we were looking at is like 15 seconds behind what the players are watching, which is the live feed. And I just heard Fish scream. And so like eyes and ears perk up. You're like, what's going on? Like, this has got to be something pretty big happening. And that was a sick wombo from Tien and Claire to end the game. Honestly, like, first of all, upset.
Yep.
You'd have to say. There was a lot of high hopes
think
coming
so,
in
yeah.
for Pentanet. So, like, that's not something that you have to say you'd expect coming into this. But, most importantly, they cleaned it up, Chiefs, in a very stylish way, which feels so right for them.
It had this sort of theatricality of a Rift Rivals Claire play. Please take a seat, watch the microphones. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Really good.
I'm loving the purple.
Thank you.
Yeah, I dig that too.
Thank you.
That's a flair.
We were just talking about how disgusting that last that last fight was. How did that feel for you?
I feel like it was kind of frustrating actually because we were trying to look for that play the entirety of the game pretty much. Because I feel like we had the early lead in that game and we like had the agency to pull off that kind of fight really early on. But I feel like Penta probably played pretty well around it. Like they used their Aatrox vs Diana side lane matchup to buy them time in that game. And I think we messed up like recalls and stuff, so it was hard to find a fight.
How are you finding new Chiefs?
Yeah, so it's been pretty interesting. Actually, we had a really, really rough start to the season. So a lot of like not being able to practice, like not having team members, not having like a house for a bit.
Yeah.
It's getting better now. It's not even there 100% yet. We're still like on subpar conditions. But ever since we flew our jungler over, like literally like less than a week ago, I think, and started practicing with him, everything has been going like extremely uphill very fast.
It's starting to click now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're not even at optimal ultimate abilities yet.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah.
That's exciting to hear. But we were just saying, it was a bit of an upset because Pentanet, who Jake was talking about, a lot of people potentially underestimating, and we agreed that's a strong lineup. How did you feel heading into that game?
Okay, so I have like weird thoughts about Pentanet because on paper,
Share
like,
them.
look at all their players, like, who like besides Rogue, who's actually like a Rogue and Bio,
Yep.
who's actually like done really well in like OPL.
Yep.
And then they formed this roster like Solly's never played. He was auto sub, and then like suddenly everyone was rating them really high. But the thing is, at the time we were scrimming them with like a sub jungle, and they actually played well. So I was like, oh yeah, they're pretty good, but I don't think anyone will rate them well because they're like unknown players.
Yep.
And then everyone's like, yeah, top 4 easily. And Chief's like number 5. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, come on, like I'm either second or third literally every split. I've never gotten lower than third in OPL. And then I'm the only remaining like always top 3 mid laner.
Yeah.
And I felt a bit like not really respected for my skill kind of.
Underestimated,
Yeah,
yeah.
underestimated. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was weird for me seeing Penta rated high, even though I did think they were pretty good.
Isn't that the best place to be though, right? Underrated, because then you have the ability to prove it. And I mean, this first game to me was like you very clearly proved what you guys can do.
Yeah, well, it's pretty conflicting. Like, people have the perception of like I'm not that good, but then like behind the scenes we're doing really well and I feel really good. So it's definitely like bittersweet.
Yeah.
And what's it like stepping into something of an elder statesman role within the team? You've been with Chiefs for a while, but obviously, like, with Swiper gone, you're sort of now OG Chiefs.
Yeah, so I feel like it's exactly what happened with when I was on Legacy. Like, first year I came in as a rookie. I played with like a bunch of veterans, and then the next year they all disappeared around me. The team was built around me, and I played like some kind of leadership role. Like, I wasn't the best leader probably, but I did have that role. And then I came into Chiefs as like a quiet, like not really vocal member. Like, I wasn't at the forefront of the team. And then all my teammates are gone again. And now I'm suddenly like the only remaining member.
Yep.
Like, I have to take up the leadership role again. So it definitely is not, it's not that like unknown or hard to me because I've already done it, but it's interesting, yeah.
Explain to me really the mentality coming into this one, because I know I read one of the interviews and you're saying, look, you know, with the exodus of a lot of those mid laners, you definitely felt you were in that sort of like top 4, top 5 bracket. And there was that little bit, I suppose, of uncertainty of, you know, where do we sit with this new team coming in, these Korean imports specifically. And you said just before about, you know, the situation not being so perfect with only maybe a week's practice at the very best. Obviously, with a performance like that, do you sort of see yourself? I mean, I believe it was like a tweet even before this happened. Like, look, don't worry, we're actually straight beast in this one. Eh? Like, we're just going to smash. I think the performance, at least the way that finale kind of came down, I suppose the point I'm getting at is with all the pieces of the puzzle joining together, is this like, you know, the stepping stone here? Like, that's where the bar's being set. It's only going to go up, or? Yeah,
I'd definitely say we're just going to only improve from here. Like, we only really started having real practice about like around a week ago, and our communication is absolutely terrible right now. We have to completely iron this out. Like I don't even know what was happening in that game with the comms. Like, there's 2 languages being spoken at the same time.
Yeah, they're Korean,
there's 4
maybe,
people around me, like a bunch of like young rookies, like all talking at the same time. I was just like, what? There was one point where I shook my head and I was like, what the hell is going on? And then like I had to tell them in pause timer, like, guys, like, come, just chill out. Like, we got this game.
All right. Well, I feel like you do have it. You certainly had it today. You've got it for the rest of the split. Is the earring new?
Yeah.
New piercing or just new earring?
New piercing, both
Very
ears, yeah.
exciting. Looks dope. All right, cool. We'll be back right after the short break.
Goes through and first blood stylishly picked up here by the Chiefs. Big knock-up coming out from Get Back. Croc going forward. Sully's the first one to go down. The end's going to be able to pick up that kill. Croc managed to get out just in time by everyone trying to cut this one backwards. Croc sits to again. Lee Syndrome picks up the double kill. Player jumps in first. Bullet time gets blocked out by the wind wall, but it's going to be a shutdown going over towards the Yasuo. Curious CK uses the stopwatch. Nice and on time here for the end to get into this fight. Jumps in. Croc gets another kill towards Prey. The smite's being used up the Rift Hill. That's going low as well. Get Back's in trouble. Chiefs wipe the floor with Petanet. They go for a big play. Leona gets knocked backwards. Big combo coming out from the ultimates. Rogue jumps in, gets a single stun. He's going to be locked down by Korea. CK solely jumping into the fight. Get Back gets a knock. A big slam coming out from Dian. And that's the one-more combo the Chiefs were looking for. Absolutely demolishing Petanet. Chiefs will take down Petanet in day 1 of the OPL.
Imagine if you took Coca-Cola No Sugar and full-on froze it. Well, now you don't have to. Head down to Macca's and try the new frozen Coke No Sugar for just $1. Exclusive to Macca's.